the third lecture of power plant engineering, in which we were looking for high pressure boiler, in which we have studied or we have completed three types of boiler, that is Lamont, Benson and Loeffler, and one more is Willox boiler. All these four five types we have completed. Now let's take remaining two boilers are there. Let's study them. From that, first one is Skimmed Hartmann boiler. Okay, the arrangement of that particular boiler is shown here. Okay, you can see this here. Combustion chamber is there on the screen. Combustion chamber, hot gases are brought from here, so that for maximum utilization of that fuel, or to reduce wastage of fuel in heating the air, or to recover the energy from hot flue gases. Okay, let's see where it is coming from. Okay, you can see this from this boiler, or sorry, blower. Air is coming. Air is coming through this blower, and then it is getting heated, and then it is supplied to the combustion chamber to heat the coal, or to burn the coal or fuel. Okay, then here all other things such as feed tank shown over here, feed tank or hot well, feed pump is given over there. You can see there that feed preheater. Okay, let's see here. See, at this point there are I will say two water circulating chains are here. Okay, two water circulating chain. Okay, let me show you first. Okay, see this. Let's start from this water term. Here is this first one, then water goes through it, then from this to again furnace, and this completes the first cycle. Let's talk about next cycle. This one is taking water from here, then again it is put in evaporator drum, in which water get evaporated, that is it get converted into steam. Then this is again passed to the boiler, in which it gets superheated, and then it is allowed to fall on steam turbine, or it will be used for any required purpose. Okay, here are two cycles you can see. Let's explain one by one. Here primary evaporator is shown. Here in this primary evaporator, the temperature of that water is raised. Then from here it is hot water is then supplied to this tank. Okay, here in this tank there is water having some temperature. Now from outside this, the feed water is sent to this or this is a heat exchanger. Okay, which is called as free preheater, in which the feed water is heated by the water coming from primary evaporator. Okay, you can see at this point the feed water is getting heated by the evaporator water. Okay, then next what happens, this water goes, which is having high temperature, again in this particular point, at this particular point, where in evaporator drum, this steam or this water get converted into steam. Okay, in this particular evaporator drum, water get converted into steam, and again this water is supplied to the boiler, and again it is get superheated and provided to the our system or steam turbine or whatever, where we have to use that steam. Like this, this working of this boiler is there. Let's see, we have seen this figure. The arrangement of boiler component shown in figure. This boiler is high pressure indirectly heated boiler. Okay, high pressure indirectly heated boiler. There are two pressure circuit used to exchange heat. Okay, we have discussed about it. In the closed primary circuit, use a distilled water and the steam is passed through submerged heating coil to evaporate the water. Okay, in the first circuit, which is inside that boiler. Okay, so let me show you which one is called as a first circuit. Okay, they have said this is the first circuit. Okay, this is the first circuit, because this the water in this circuit is just recycling. Okay, it is not exhausted like this first one cycle. This is first one. The water from this is exhausted on the steam, but from this first cycle water is reutilized. That means, that's why, for what purpose? Because as it is distilled water, it will not form any sludge or not clog any tubings of that particular boiler. So this is the advantage and will give the more or very good heat transfer rate. That's why in this first circuit, okay, this first circuit, in this first circuit, the water or distilled water is used, which is heating the feed water and producing the steam from the second water. Let's see what is given more. Now, in the closed primary circuit, uses a distilled water and the steam is passed through submerged heating coil to evaporate the water. In the secondary circuit, located in the evaporator drum, and the steam produced in the secondary circuit is used for running the prime mover. The condensate of high pressure primary circuit steam is circulated through the water drum, there where feed water is heated to its saturation temperature and finally flow back to the primary evaporator. In the primary circuit, natural circulation is used. That means there is no, you can see there is no any evaporating, sorry, you cannot see in this particular circuit there is no feed pump. Okay, that's why the circulation is what? Quite natural. Okay, natural circulation is there in the primary circuit. The condensate of high pressure primary circuit steam is circulated through the water drum, where feed water is heated to its saturation temperature and finally flow back to the primary evaporator. In the primary circuit, natural circulation is used. The primary circuit also includes a steam separator and a non-return valve as shown in figure. Okay, you can see that non-return valve over here. Here is primary separator. Here is also one more separator given, and non-return valve is provided so that the steam will not mix with the water. Next, okay, so the high pressure steam of primary circuit processes sufficient thermal head to produce steam at 500 Newton per centimeter square with heat transfer rate of 2000 watt per meter square hour in degrees Celsius. This main steam is passed through a superheater placed in the uptake and then to the application point. For purpose of safety, a combined pressure gauge and thermometer are fitted to primary circuit. There is an arrangement is provided for making distilled water for the primary circuit. Then let's see some main advantages of this boiler, which is of chances of overheating or burning of the highly heated component due to use of distilled water in primary circuit. So no danger of salt deposition. Okay, as we have discussed about it, there is no change of interruption of the circulation either by rust or other matter due to use of distilled water in the primary circuit. The feed water outside the heating coil, and hence it is easy to remove salt deposition. Okay, you can see all the feed water is outside the boiler, so cleaning of that tubings which is outside the boiler is easy, because it will be easy accessible to remove and fitment. Okay, Due to high thermal and water capacity, wide function of load are allowed without undue priming or abnormal increase in the primary pressure. The absence of water rises in the drum, and the moderate temperature difference across the allows evaporation to proceed without priming. Now next one is Ramsey once through boiler. It is supercritical boiler. This is very similar to Benson boiler, except that evaporator section spiral tube instead if straight tubes. Its water circuit is shown in figure. It is same as Benson boiler, but just the water circuit is shown in figure. Instead of in Benson boiler, the spiral tubings is there, but in this particular boiler, there is vertical tubes are used. The boiler consists of inclined evaporator coil arranged in spiral. 40 such coil is paralleled around the furnace. Water is forced into the economizer by a feed water pump, where it is heated and then it enter in spiral evaporator tube, where water flashes to steam. Steam generated in evaporator flows into heater, and then convection superheaters the superheat the steam in utilization of power generation. You can see here uh, feed water, which is feeding the water to the boiler. Then in the economizer, which is uppermost part of that particular boiler casing, in which some heat is extracted from that flue gases. That's why it is called as economizer. Then it is again fed to what? To the spiral tube evaporating section. Then convective superheat takes it gets superheated, and then steam is getting used for our purpose. So that is Benson boiler and this Ramsey boiler both have same arrangement, but in Benson vertical tubes are there, but in this Ramsey the spiral tubes are used. Now advantages of Ramsey once through boiler: it has high heat transfer rate, thermal efficiency is high, corrosion and erosion problems are minimized, adaptable to load function fluctuation. Then disadvantages of Ramsey once through boiler: it is costly due to increased requirement for steel for heat transfer surface, pump and feed water piping, generation of steam using forced circulation, high and supercritical pressure is required. Now FBC. We have finished the all type of boilers at verse 6. Now let's see its different component. From which first one is fluidized bed combustion boilers, that is FBC. Let's see what is FBC. It is advanced method of combustion used to burn fuel. What is actually this FBC is? It is advanced method of combustion. Combustion method of combustion is quite advanced. That means we have to remove as much as possible heat from that fuel and to use it for our purpose. In this FBC, that is given, used to burn solid fuel particles are suspended in a hot bubbling fluidity bed of ash and other particulate material like sand, limestone, etc., through which jets of air are blown to provide the oxygen required for the combustion. In this FBC, small particle, the fuel is converted into small particle and that fed to the combustion chamber. This result fast and complete mixing of gas and solid, promote rapid heat transfer and chemical reaction within the bed. As the surface area of that fuel get increased, that's why the efficiency of that particular fuel takes place. FBC plant are capable of burning a variety of low grade solid fuel. Okay, even as coal is low grade fuel. Why? Because it is not easy to take out this heat. A spontaneous emission of heat is not there in case of heat, but for petrol or diesel you can ignite it easily. Therefore this low grade fuel solid fuel is that coal. Such coal and wood biomass at high efficiency and without any expensive preparation of fuel such as pulverization of coal. In this FBC it is very easy to combust all these solid fuel which are of low grade. Then also FBC are smaller than the equivalent conventional furnace, so may offer significant advantage over the latter in terms of cost and flexibility, as FBC is small device, okay, or smaller furnace. So cost effectiveness comes into our project. So FBC reduces the amount of sulfur emitted in the form of SOx, that is sulfur oxides, dioxide, monoxide, whatever emission. Then limestone is used to precipitate out sulfate during combustion, which also allow more efficient heat transfer from the boiler to apparatus used to capture the heat energy. What the heated release comes in direct contact with the tubes and transfer heat by conduction, which increase the efficiency. FBC allows thermal power plant to burn coal at a lower temperature, releasing less amount of nitrous oxide, that NOx, that is like NO2, or NO3, whatever. Whereas burning at low temperature also causes increased polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon emission. FBC boiler can burn fuel other than coal, and the lower temperature of combustion up to 800 degrees Celsius, having other added benefits. Now let's see working principle of fluidized bed combustion. When a gas is passed through a packed bed of finely divided solid particle, it experiences a pressure drop across the feet. A pulverized bed is composed of fuel like coal, coke, biomass, etc., and bed material ash, sand, and or sorbent contained within an atmospheric or pressurized vessel. The bed becomes fluidized when air or other gas flows upward at a velocity sufficient to expand the bed. The arrangement of FBC is illustrated in the next figure. Let's see over here. Okay, fluidized bed, fuel and dolomite is supplied from the bottom. Okay, you can see air is fed. This is whole is boiler. You have that air blowing arrangement down the boiler or at the base of boiler. Then distributor plates are given over here. Then you have to feed water, okay, in which or water for what, to make it steam. In this way it will, the steam will get converted and it will get out of the that boiler. You can see tubings over here. All these are tubing and outlet is there. Okay, and these fluidized bed combustion are generally or only for water tube boiler. That means water is flowing in the tube. Then ash disposal is easy. You can see ash is coming out here and flue gases are going out there. Now next, the fuel and inert material dolomite are supplied to the distributor plate and air is passed through the bottom of the high velocity air keep the solid feed material in a suspended form during combustion at low fluidized velocity 0.39 to 0.9 to 3 meter per second. Relative high solid densities are maintained in the bed and only a small fraction of solid are entrained from the bed. The head of combustion transfer rapidly to the water flowing through the tubes which are immersed in the bed. During combustion, SO2 is formed is absorbed by dolomite, limestone and prevent its escape with the exhaust gases. The molten slag is trapped from the top surface of the bed. The primary objective of inert material is to control the bed temperature about 90% of the fed volume. The heat released by combustion is first used for inert material and balance the absorbed by the heat transfer surface. The inert material should be resistant to heat and disintegrate and have similar density as coal. Also, it should not disintegrate to coal and bed material. Sintered ash, fused alumina, sand, mullite, and zirconia are the inner material of FBC. The limestone is used as particle bed. Control of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide emission in the combustion chamber is achieved without any additional control equipment. Then need of FBC. What is need of FBC that we have seen? The maximum percentage of coal available in India is of low grade quality, containing high ash having volume, calorific value. The additional grade fuel firing system have some limitation and are technically uneconomical, unavailable to meet the challenges of future. FBC has provided various alternatives and has significant advantage over conventional firing system and having multiple benefit: compact boiler design, fuel flexibility, higher combustion efficiency, and reduced emission of noxious pollutants such as CO, NO2, NOx. The fuels burned in these boilers include coal, washery rejects, rice husk, bagasse, and other agriculture waste. The fluidized bed boiler have a wide capacity range up to 0.5 to ton per hour to over 100 ton per hour. Now, in next lecture, we will study some what type of fluidized bed combustor, various arrangement in FBCs, atmospheric circulating bed combustor, then pressurized fluid bed combustor, control system of FBC and its advantages and disadvantages. Today we will stop here. Thank you.